checked the top box. That's our honey super. That means we're collecting honey. They haven't done a whole lot with it, but it's been super rainy, so that's not unheard of. That means it washes out a lot of the nectar, which means you need a good nectar flow in order for them to make wax. They have to make wax to draw out that comb because a lot of those frames have no comb on them. They're just the base foundation. So now we're gonna peek at them and see if they're queen right again. We like the population. We can see that there's a lot of bees in between the frames. So we usually just start on one end and pull it out because it's a little easier. And there's some new frames in here again, so you can see they're drawing a little comb out there. We like these black frames for brood, especially because the contrast helps you see the eggs. So I'm gonna try to pull lots of honey for themselves. This is going for themselves. We always want to make sure they have plenty stored, so we like to give them 3 boxes, brood and honey, before we collect any honey ourselves. Because it's all about keeping your hives alive. Keeping good, strong, healthy hives will allow you to get more honey in the long run. And I see some queen cells. And I'm looking in them to see, here, I'll show you see how it's cut off like that? That means she chewed her way out versus another queen chewing it up. These are more queen cells. Can you see how long they are? So, I don't see anything in there. I'm trying to look up to see if there's any eggs, but I don't see any. They're making a new queen. They make more than one. And these are the cells to replace the queen. And you can see there's brood here. There's hatching out right there. But they're not, there's another queen cell, yep, already ripped open. So we will see if the queen is laying yet. Otherwise, we'll want to give her at least 2 weeks to check. Make sure with a queen.
Okay.
As long as a mated queen. The day that you weren't here, there was just virgin queen after virgin queen flying and swarming. So I'm really curious to dig into ours and see if we successfully their hive. And that way, if something did happen to their queen, especially with all this bad weather, they would still have an opportunity to make another queen. Because right now, what we run the risk of is a laying worker if we didn't have a successful queen. And you basically lose your hive if you get a laying worker. It's almost impossible to solve that problem. So we can go down one more. So mites love drone brood, so I think that's part of our problem. You see this mite right here? It's this tiny little dot, but compared to the size of a bee, the equivalent is like a dinner plate to me, and it sucks the lifeblood of the bee. And this one has 2 mites on it, so that tells me this one needs to be treated for mites.
Do you think they already had it?
Mites?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, the mites are just like
Common.
right, it's about keeping the levels low. You shake the bees into a jar or into like a pan, collect half a scoop of bees, which is about 300 bees, and then you dust them with powdered sugar, you shake it around, and let the mites fall off, and that gives you a count. But if I see 2 mites on one bee and they're ripping them out of there, it's kind of a good sign that maybe they are aware that there's a problem. But obviously, one of the controls for mites is a brood break, and this is qualified as a brood break because we have not had a queen now for probably at least a week or 2. That helps because those mites don't have fresh brood in order to go and lay more eggs and to feed off of them, because they have to have baby bees with cells to feed off of them. So we are just gonna tuck this up for a little bit. Last time I checked on hives, I found virgin queens and queen cells on 3 frames at least. So I decided to split the hive, and this is the results. And now I have a successful new hive. There are baby bees, there's eggs everywhere, and there's a little bit older grubs here. You can kind of see the little pearl C's. So when they're just the eggs, they stay eggs for 3 days, and then after that they hatch out into little grubs. and you can see that they're laying a little bed of royal jelly, and they'll stay like that for about 9 days, and then they get capped and finish the development. And these are all going to be worker brood. So this is great. This might be a good frame to bolster another hive if I feel like this hive is going strong. So I'm going to check a few more frames and make sure they've got more than one frame of bees, but we can officially declare this hive queen right. She's beautiful. She's huge. Find her. Look how long she is. She is gorgeous. She's a beautiful.
Point to it again.
Right there.
Oh, there.
And she is, look at this pattern. I mean, she's great. She's missing hardly any spots. Okay, we are thrilled. See how she commands attention.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. There he is. There she is.
Where's the bald spot?
Just like the
The edge of her head.
the queen's not already in there. She probably could be, but putting a frame of bees that are of baby bees, so brood that's not capped yet, will help suppress any worker bees that might have the idea of becoming laying workers. There's probably a good chance that there's a new queen in there. She just hasn't started laying. We can leave it like that because this is the honey. To be on the safe side, it's always good to just go ahead and hedge your bets and put a frame of brood in there. So this is one reason why, as a beekeeper, you want more than one hive. If I was right here, I would be rushing to go buy a queen, which is like $50, and install it into my hive. But I can wait and let them raise their own queen, and I'm not so worried about it. So anyway, we're gonna check the next one and hope for better. Have a queen.
Okay, to help him get a queen, she's going to swap from this one to that one so they can get establish a queen in this one.
They can't actually fly, so you can see that they're like they haven't dried out all the way. So it's really important if you do drop them to try and like get them back in the hive as best you can, so you don't lose a bunch of bees. I'm not gonna sit there and gather every one of them, but we'll get this.
So how long does that take to dry out?
Quite a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the new ones aren't until they're like the guard bees or something. They only live for about a month.
Oh.
But during this time of year, so I think they can fly finally by the time they're maybe 10 days old or something. They kind of just like hop around, fly and hop around, which I never knew that they couldn't fly. I thought as soon as they dried out they could fly, but I guess that's not the case. Some of them are in the squish points. Come on. Of course, it's kind of like trying to herd cats, and then you gotta lock it down. Thanks for joining us for an update on beekeeping.